second graders, this is Miss Jackson Smith and this is a second grade math video for Monday, April 13th, 2020. In this video, we're going to be learning about a whole new thing called symmetry, and I'm really excited to teach you about it. Before we get started, I wanted to give a couple of added on shout outs for Kipsters who finished their math work after I'd made that video that was for Friday. So big shout outs to Aiden, Jaleel, Melanie, Kimyan, Layla, Heaven, and Harlem for doing their math work on Google Classroom. I saw your work and it was amazing. Another quick reminder is I wanted to make sure that you guys know how to get a math shout out this week or on Friday, because I'd love to put even more names in my video for Friday. So what you first off want to do is watch the second grade YouTube playlist every single day. Then you want to log on to Google Classroom after you watch and click on the assignments for that day. You're going to complete all your math assignments that are in that list, and then I'll get to see your work once you submit it. If you don't know how to get onto Google Classroom, watch those how-to videos that Mrs. Mannion made. And if you try that and it's not working, call or text your teacher so we can help you. So let's get started for today. You are going to need a few materials for today. I might have made a mistake here. You're going to need paper. You are not going to need scissors today. You are going to need scissors later this week, but you don't need them today. Whoops. And you're going to need something to write with, and you need your brain. First off, let's start with a little bit of addition and subtraction. Last week, on Thursday, I made a mistake in our addition video, and I wonder if you noticed it. The mistake was with this problem right here. So we're going to do another chance right here. And I think the reason I made that mistake was because I was going so fast. So that's another reminder just to take your time. But I want you to go ahead and try and solve these two problems on your own, all right? So pause the video, and when you're ready to move on, press play. All right, let's get started on solving these problems together. On the addition problem, let's look in the ones place. We've got 6 plus 3. We've got 6 plus 3 right here. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 or less, I just let it rest. Next, in the tens place, I've got 4 tens plus 8 tens. That's 12, and so I'm going to need to regroup. So I write 2 tens right here, and then I group 10 tens to make 100 and put it right here. But this is the place where I made the mistake last week. In the hundreds place, I've got 2 hundreds plus 4 hundreds plus that 100 down here. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So I put 7 hundreds down there, and I'm all done. Next, let's do our subtraction. In the ones place, we've got 6 on top and 8 on the bottom. More is on the floor, so that means we need to go next door. So next door is the tens place, and I'm looking up here on the top at this 5 tens. So I'm going to take one of those tens, and so now I only have 4 tens, and I put 10 ones in the ones place, and I have 16 ones. 16 minus 8 is 8, 4, and 9. I can't subtract because there's more on the floor, so I need to go next door over to this 9 right here. So that means I have 8 hundreds now. I take one of those hundreds and put it into 10 tens. So now I have 8 hundreds and 14 tens. 14 minus 9 is 5 tens. And then 8 hundreds minus 5 hundreds, that's more on the top, so there's no need to stop. 8 minus 5 is 3. All right, we're all done with that. Next up, we're going to be learning about a new thing called symmetry. So we're going to check out this slide right here. A shape has line symmetry if it can be folded on a line so that its 2 parts match exactly. A line of symmetry divides a shape into 2 equal parts that are congruent. That means they are the same size and the same shape. I want you to try saying this with me. Say line symmetry. Good job. I want you to say congruent. Those are going to be our 2 big words that we're going to be using when we talk about shapes this week. And so in the next few slides, we're going to look at some examples of congruent and some examples of symmetry and lines of symmetry. So right here on this side on the left, these are some examples of congruent pairs. They're the same size and they're the same shape. But I want you to notice that they're different colors. That's okay. Things can be different colors but still be congruent, so long as they're the same size and the same shape. Also, these were rotated, right? But they're the same size and the same shape, so they're still congruent. Over here, these hearts are not the same size, so they're not congruent. Same with this letter B. This B is big and this B is little, and so they are not congruent. Next, I want us to look at some examples of lines of symmetry. On this left side, if I look at each shape and I pretend to fold it in my mind, it would fold and those sides would match up exactly. And I can see that on each side of that line of symmetry, each part is an equal size, and it is the same size and the same shape. So my lines of symmetry can go vertically or up and down. They can also go horizontally, like on that circle, side to side, or my line of symmetry can be diagonal, like on this square or on this triangle. Next, let's look over here at some examples of things that are not lines of symmetry. Over here, these are not lines of symmetry because if you folded them over, the lines would not match up. Another way of thinking about it is that they're not divided into equal parts. On each side of the line of each of these shapes, they're not the same size or shape. Over here, that's an exception, right? Over here, they are the same size and they are the same shape, but if we folded them over, they wouldn't line up. And so that means that they're not symmetrical or they're not a line of symmetry. All right? So I want you to notice that here in a couple of places, I have the same shape, right? But here, this line that I drew is not a line of symmetry. And over here, this line that I drew is a line of symmetry. And the reason why is because we could fold them and then they'd be exactly lined up, but they'd exactly match. All right. So the big thing to remember is that if you fold on a line of symmetry, the parts will match exactly. So let's take a quick little quiz and see what you have learned so far. The question is, which picture shows a line of symmetry? I want you to pause the video, pick your answer, and then when you're ready to find out, press play. All right, let's look at A first. A is not a line of symmetry because the two parts are not the same size. Now let's look at B. B is not a line of symmetry either. It's in the middle, but if we fold it on that line, it won't match exactly. The bottom edges are going to poke out on the sides of those top corners. Let's look at C. C is not a line of symmetry either. It's diagonal, but if we fold it on that line, the corners wouldn't match up exactly. So that means that D is a line of symmetry. Each part is the same size and shape, and if we fold it on that line, it would match exactly. Next, I want you to watch me draw a line of symmetry on a shape. Here my shape is an A. For this, just watch. My first step is to hold up a line. I'm going to use a pencil or my finger or anything that's straight. So here I have a picture of a pencil and I can move it around. My next step is to move that line or move that straight object until both sides of the shape I'm looking at match exactly. So if I put it here, nope, that wouldn't work because this side is so much smaller than this side on the A. I could rotate it around and I'm still not there yet. That's not symmetrical. I could make it straight like that, but you see the top is a lot smaller than the bottom, so I'm not there yet. I'm going to try going straight up and down on the middle and see if that works. All right, it looks like that's pretty good. It looks like both sides are the same shape and the same size, so that means that that's a line of symmetry. My next step would be to take this pencil away and draw an actual line. So I made a line right there down the middle to show the line of symmetry. All right, now it's our turn. We're going to try this one together. I want you to pause the video and use your finger or use a pencil to try and find a line of symmetry on each shape. There's going to be a couple of shapes here that don't have a line of symmetry at all. All right, but see how many you can find. All right, now let's check our work. I drew a line of symmetry on each one of these shapes that we could find, but Some of them we couldn't find lines of symmetry, so they're not symmetrical. Now let's try again. I did some numbers here, and I want you to pause the video and hold up your finger or hold up a pencil and see how many lines of symmetry you can find. All right, if you're pressing play, that means that you've already looked at all of these shapes, and I want you to check your work with me. So 1 and 2 are not symmetrical, but 3 is. We could draw a horizontal line of symmetry for that shape. 4 and 5 are not symmetrical. 6 and 7 aren't symmetrical. 8 and 0 are both symmetrical, but 9 is not. All right? All right, your task now is, at home, I want you to find a straight object, or you can use a mirror. I'll teach you guys how to do that later this week. But find a straight object that you can use to check for symmetry. Then I want you to walk around your house and look for objects that have line symmetry. Then I want you to take a picture of any objects you find that are symmetrical and send that picture to your teacher. Your teacher can send that picture to me, and I'm going to put those objects in a video later this week. So I wonder what you're going to find. Finally, this is your last step. I want you to go to Google Classroom and complete your math work for Monday, April 13th. It's going to be a lot of stuff dealing with symmetry and shape, so I'm really excited to see what you learned from this video. I'll have another video up tomorrow. We're going to be doing a craft with symmetry, and I'm really excited to do it with you. I miss you guys so much, and I hope you had fun learning in this video with me. I'll see you again soon. Bye.